Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to take a look at the August Smart Art Box. This video is sponsored by smartartbox.com, and they are a company that delivers a surprise box of art supplies every month to subscribers' doors. Every box has a brochure in it that tells you about this month's theme and also gives you a little information about each product that comes in the box, as well as some project ideas. So the first thing we have in here is a Tombow Fudenosaki brush pen. It's a kind of like actually a flexible, hard-tipped pen. It's really lovely to write in. It also comes with this little plastic guide, but everything's in Japanese and I can't read anything that's on the packaging. So I'm not exactly sure what this is for, but it has something to do with lining up Chinese calligraphy, I believe. And the next thing in the box is a bottle of Higgins India ink. It's a non-waterproof fountain pen safe India ink. I've used this before. It does not, it's not waterproof, so you do want to keep that in mind if you're going to be working with it. We also have a pack of Illustrator markers by Spectrum Noir. They are a marker that has a bullet tip on one end and a brush tip on the other. They are, I've used them before. They are a pretty nice line of markers, I would say, and they are in kind of rich jewel tones for this box. This brush also has two Chinese calligraphy brushes in number 4 and number 6 size. We have a Lollipop. Every box has a sweet in it. A small tray for diluting ink, a sticker with a Chinese brush pen themed artwork on it, and we have a packet of masa paper, which is a type of Asian paper typically used in Chinese and Japanese calligraphy. It is sized on one side, so it's got like a hard glossy sizing on one side, and it's got a soft ricey feeling side on the other side. I'm not sure if it's a rice paper exactly, but it's definitely used in your Chinese calligraphy in your sumi-e art. So I thought I would test out the products here. I really like this Tombow pen. It's very easy to do the light pressure for thin lines and the heavy pressure for thicker lines. I could see myself using this a lot to do fancy lettering on a greeting card, or maybe even just writing or drawing, since it does have a flexibility to it. And it is waterproof. I did try that out, so that's nice. If you wanted to do some pen and ink work, do a drawing with that and then go over it with watercolor, it would work really well. Now we've got the markers here, and the markers don't seem to work on this paper very well. I'm using the glossy side. You can still see it's still seeping through to the back, and the colors look a lot darker than they ought to on this paper because it's not a proper alcohol marker paper. I think it's an odd addition to this box that they put these alcohol pens in when this masa paper is definitely more suited to a water-based ink or a watercolor in more traditional terms. But I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see what I can do with this kit and see if I can make some decent art with it, because that's a fun with a Smart Art box. You just kind of go with it and see how it goes. Now I put some ink into this tray, and I'm going to dilute it so I can get different shades of gray. The thing you want to keep in mind though when you are using the ink is it's going to look so much darker on this paper because it's so thin. It's going to like soak up the water really well and look a lot darker until it dries. So I'm just trying to get used to the brush pens here and the ink and practice some strokes, and now I'm going to start on my finished my first piece of art. I thought I would do a fish. I thought that would be kind of cool looking. You always see like kind of the brush painters do like fish and birds and things like that. So I'm just sketching out a fish. I don't know what kind of fish it is. It's just a fish. Getting kind of like a rounded diamond-shaped body, putting a fin on the back. And I'm doing this with the Fudenosaki pen because it's waterproof, and I know I'm not going to lose my lines as I go in with the diluted ink. I wanted to take my time here and get it fairly accurate so that I don't have to stop and think so much when I'm going in and applying ink and marker, because I don't know how that's going to work on this type of paper. I've only used masa paper with watercolor before, so I'm just kind of curious as to how it will work. Now this looked really, really dark, even though I diluted it a little bit, so you kind of have to wait and see for it to dry before you can really tell what you have. I think part of the issue is because I'm working on a black mat, so when the paper gets wet, it's kind of translucent anyway. I'm seeing through into the mat underneath. So if I just had clear water, it would look dark, you know, like I had a gray ink on there. but as it dries, you can kind of see the colors that I put down there. So that was good. I'm tapping the brush to give me the texture of scales, and I'm just using a variety of like diluted and full strength ink to try to get some, tone on some seaweed, and I'm using a really, really pale ink to try to get these little bubbles in here, and I'm adding some movement and pattern into the water by doing some like weeds and grasses, seagrass and things like that in the picture. So after it was all dry, I thought I would add some tinting with some markers, and the thing I noticed was that these markers felt so dry. And then as I got to use them, it almost felt like the tips were starting to fray of the brush tips. And then I got out some newer, I didn't have any of the original Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers, but I did have some of the newer ones. And the newer ones definitely that I have different tips. And I looked on the package of this, and they're actually from 2016. So I think they have the old tips on these brushes. So I just wanted to mention that in case you have these and they're fraying on you and you're getting frustrated. I do know they have revamped the tips on these markers because I have some of the newer stock of them. So that was kind of frustrating to work with, but I think that alcohol markers on this type of paper would be frustrating anyway. So that's kind of par for the course. I did try those markers on some marker paper afterwards, and they did work fine. So I would definitely recommend, if you have this kit, that you just put the markers away and use them on marker paper with other alcohol markers, because I think they're going to suck out way too much ink on this paper, and they're going to frustrate you. I think it's an odd addition to this kit, but I wanted to give it a try and see what I could come up with. I'm doing some shading. I did some outlining with the alcohol markers on the seaweed, and I thought, I wonder if I could work quick enough and take some of that blue marker, scribble it in my palette, and add some water to it to kind of make like a really diluted alcohol ink, basically. And it worked a little bit. I just wanted to tone that background a bit, but any place I had the India ink from the bottle, it like lifted up a little bit, which was fine because I wanted a little bit of a toning back there. I wasn't able to get too much of the ink from the marker mixed in with the water. If you work fast enough, you can dilute alcohol ink with water, but it just really wasn't the effect I was going for. I found myself being very frustrated with this project, and honestly, I was pushing through it because I wanted to see what I could do with these products together in the collection that they were presented to me. But I have to say, I really wasn't that thrilled with the alcohol ink being added to this. I wish there was like a little set of watercolors or water-soluble ink in colors, or color sheets or Peerless or something like that that I could dilute with water, because I think it would work so much better on this paper. And there you can see the alcohol ink totally seeped through to the back side, whereas the water-based ink stayed on the surface of the masa paper. But I'm not that unhappy with the results that I got, but I decided that I wanted to try this again with some mediums that I'm more familiar with. So we did the one project with what was in the kit. Now we're going to branch out a little bit. So I thought I would do some more fish and keep with that theme, because I did enjoy sketching the fish out with those pens. And I'm just doing a very expressive, just kind of easy sketch with a little brush pen here. I want to get some movement, just a little bit of detail. I don't intend to go so dark with the colors on this one because I'll be using some watercolors, so I know that I don't have to put in such dark lines to begin. And I thought I would just do two fish just to get a little movement in there. And because I really wasn't intending on putting on any seaweed to start off with, I thought I would just stick with a fish and see what I could do. And I just love sketching really free and loose here, and adding some hatching for the texture and the scale to kind of represent the scales. It was a lot of fun. And at this point, I already had the project done I needed to do for the box, and I thought I'm just going to play and have fun. So something that I've done before with masa paper that I really love is to wet it and crinkle it up. This is going to crack the hard sizing on the glossy side of the masa paper, because there's, a glossy side and there's a rough side. And then I'm going to open it back up, and if you're not going to sketch on it first, you want to put a little X on the glossy side before you do this. You got to make sure you get that paper really wet. You can see the crackles forming, just how it's just spread out. That's going to grab more paint, any of those crackles. So I'm just using some watercolors that I had in my stash. These are Renaissance, but any brand of watercolor or water-based ink will work. And I'm painting my fish. I decided to give them some warm, bright colors to begin with before I added any ink to them. Now, I was a little surprised at how much the ink spread on the wet paper, and I didn't know how dark it was going to be, so I kind of was a little bit upset that I had done that. I kind of wished I had just grabbed watercolor at that point, but I did want to use the ink and be kind of with the spirit of this box, and hopefully give other subscribers to this box some ideas on how they could use this paper and those inks to maybe better effect, or an effect that suited them more. It could just be my user error that didn't really get on with alcohol pens on that paper, so I thought giving another option would definitely be a good thing. So I painted in some blue for water. I did end up swirling in some green to represent some like seaweed and whatnot, and I'm also putting in some brown to represent, you know, some dirt and like maybe dead plants. It would be in the water as well. And then I set it outside to dry, and here you can see the back of the paper you can still see that pattern. It's really just kind of cool looking. It does dry quite a bit lighter because our paper was super wet, and now when it's wet, I think this is the best time to go in with the ink. I'm using my brush straight up and down so I can get a lot of detail and precision with my brush, and I'm going in and adding details and any place I want dark, crisp lines. Now this is how this paper I think is best used, and these supplies are best used. So if you have this kit at home, I would strongly urge you to see if you have any water-based inks or watercolors in your stash. Even inexpensive children's watercolors would work, and give it another go with that paper. I really like the Masa paper. I haven't used it in years, so it was kind of fun to get back to that and try it again. And it's another way you can use the supplies in your kit. Now I am going in with an acrylic paint pen and just adding some white highlights that I completely lost when I was originally painting this, and also using a white gel pen for those finer details that the white marker wasn't working. I think because the white paint pen is thinner, it kind of soaked into the paper too. But I really like the way this came out. It was a lot of fun, and I had way more fun doing the watercolor version with this than the alcohol pen version. And it could just be that I'm more of a watercolor painter than an alcohol marker user, although I do enjoy both. Ink is always a challenge for me though. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you're curious about this box and want to learn more or subscribe to Smart Art Box, visit smartartbox.com. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.